the last round of
Horror Show.
Let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching and listening to the Last Roundup Horror Show. If you want to have a good fucking time, get yourself some Big League Chew.
Grape.
Yeah.
Ground ball grape.
Ground ball grape.
Another fantastic episode is right here in front of you. And we got 3 movies. Up first,
Introductions.
my name's Frank.
I'm Jared.
Oh, I'm Jason.
And then up second, One Dark Night.
Big League Chew.
Big League Chew.
Sponsored by Big League
Now
Chew.
sponsored.
Hopefully
Ground ball grape.
soon. Our first feature film is One Dark Night from 1982. And this is features the fantastic Adam West. And as a part of the initiation into a club called the Sisters, a young girl must spend the night in a mausoleum. Directed by Tom McLaughlin, known for writing Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives.
One of my favorites.
6.
I had to
Let's
watch
not get on
this
yet.
in a real weird way. I had to watch it
It's a strong one.
on Vumu. Did you watch it on Vumu?
What, this one?
Yeah.
I don't remember what I watched.
It's like a weird Russian YouTube or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You have it on DVD.
Frank's
I picked
doing
this up
illegal
on
stuff.
Blu-ray. I heard good things about this, and I was a borderline. I don't necessarily like to buy a movie if I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard enough good things. It was right after Adam West died, so I just went ahead and bought it.
Yeah, that was I didn't know anything about it coming in. His name popped up on the credit, and I said, "Huh, well, that's a nice little surprise."
I would have loved it if he was the crazy magic guy. That would have been a better use of
Crazy
him.
Magic Man.
Yeah, whatever you call that. This movie also stars Meg Tilly, the lesser Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly's sister.
Yeah, the lesser. Yeah. She's the lesser Tilly.
Half the movie I was trying to figure out. It's like, man, what have I seen her in?
Yeah.
And then I remembered the name at the beginning. I was like, I think she's her sister.
It also stars Elizabeth Daily. Do you remember her from Pee-wee's Big Adventure? She was Dottie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She also does Tommy Pickles on Rugrats voice and one of the Powerpuff Girls. But if you look her up now, she doesn't look anything
Who
like.
was she in this?
She was one of the girls.
Which one?
They had no real discerning personalities. The brown-haired one, the short one.
The one that looked like Meg Tilly.
No, that was Meg Tilly.
The one that got out.
Oh, we moved on.
The one that got out of the car
What's her
and
name?
didn't go with him.
Her name's
Dottie.
Dottie. She looked like Dottie
Gotcha.
from Pee-wee.
She's the one that looks like Dottie.
Gotcha. Yeah, sure.
But she doesn't look like that anymore. She got like a bunch of plastic surgery. It looks all crazy.
Gotcha.
What's the deal with that toothbrush that girl has and keeps putting in her mouth? Did they?
She just likes the taste of it. She answered that.
That's fucking weird, man. I'm not down with that.
She answered it.
For a low budget movie, I think this movie was done well.
Yeah, I want to. Anybody who plans on watching this, I want to make a note that at 55 minutes, there's like the craziest camel toe that I think I've ever seen in jeans. That's forever. So it's worth. I mean, if nothing else, you've got that weird. It looks like the most uncomfortable thing that could happen to a woman. But
How much does that boost this movie? Like,
it was
you don't have to give it a rating, but did that come into play?
If you want to see Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventures, camel toe, it's in here for like 20 minutes. There's like a scene at 55 minutes. But the effects look pretty rough at the end. I think it looks more like
It's dated. It
looks
doesn't
like
hold up exactly
80s.
well.
It's 80s effects.
It
Straight up.
definitely feels like something you would run into at the end of a Halloween haunted trail.
I felt like this was a horror movie made for kids, but not made for kids at all.
Yeah.
No gore. If you're looking for a gore fest, this is not it.
All the stuff that you leave out of horror movies for kids was left out of this, but all the stuff you put in to keep kids entertained was not.
I think that like one of the things
It's PG, isn't it?
it has to be.
I think it's PG.
Oh, you don't have that?
Pretty sure
I
it's
would have had
PG.
that, but I don't have my notebook.
One of the things I think was an odd choice was like, okay, this guy's a magician of sorts or whatever. What is his power? To make bodies fall on you.
He's a
push
psychic.
Okay.
They talk about it in the movie.
Yeah, I saw that part.
He's a psychic.
Yeah. Well, he's
The guy actually. They actually have a scene where he explains it
there is
exactly.
a difference though between a psychic and a guy that can also control things with his mind. After
telekinetic.
death.
Psychics can.
He's a magic
in
guy.
in the
Same
movies,
thing.
psychics can be telekinetic,
Same
and
thing.
he even had a scene where he explained that he likes to move the dead bodies around.
Did you
I
watch
just
this movie?
They
Yes,
set
I did.
it up.
I thought it was an odd choice, as that his power is to make bodies appear and be leaned upon you.
That's not his power. That's just the thing he does.
Well, it sounds like you're talking about a hobby he has.
That's
Well,
pretty much
even
how
on the weekends.
That's
he
pretty
just-
much how he explained it. He's like, it gets them scared,
But they're
when
not
their
gonna
adrenaline's
die,
peaked. He
right?
sucks the life out of them, and then just
Oh,
kind of likes to move them around, their dead bodies around with his mind. And he even says he doesn't bring them back to life. He just animates them.
Because it seemed less like if you could overcome the fear of the dead, just more inconvenient. Like, oh god,
So-
there's like 6 bodies on me.
What happened? What happens to this? What happened? What happens to this girl?
Well, she, her friends, or not friends, enemies, I guess, those girls come in to terrorize her through the night. And then, what do you suppose spurns this guy into fucking Magic Town? I mean, the disrespect of the graves, probably, or something.
I think he just was.
He was just.
They
down
said
to
in
it.
the movie.
That's what he does.
They said in the movie he was experimenting to try to figure out what death
Yeah.
was like. So I think it's very possible that he had something to do with his own death because he knew he could resurrect himself.
Mhm.
They kind of lead towards that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I thought.
Shot well,
Yeah,
great atmosphere, and I didn't look at the budget, but I know this is a low budget movie. I thought it was done.
yeah.
I thought it was done great.
I thought it's a, in terms of putting it all together, it's a solid made, just kind of 80s, little generic.
And it's what I expected too. I love.
I think
Part
it would have
6.
been. I think it would have been stronger if they would have got to any of the. There is no horror in the movie at all until the last 19 minutes and 55 seconds, something like that. I
guess.
watched because
No, I guess, but there's the atmosphere. It's all there. Like it. Nothing's gonna happen that's gonna say, oh, that's a horror movie. But I felt like I'm watching a horror movie.
yeah.
I mean,
without
we don't have to put everything in a box. It could just be a movie. You know,
It could be a movie.
this could be the last Roundup movie show.
well, it could be.
But I'm just saying that's my
No.
issue with it. The beginning chunk of the movie was made fine, except there is no. I mean, it's just teenagers trying to fit in and a woman dealing with her dad's death, and I mean, the acting is fine in it. Adam West,
It's okay.
is good. Everything's solid. Nothing standing out, but nothing so bad that I'd be like, I actually enjoyed the last 20 minutes of it. I really liked everything that went on because it was fairly generic, cheesy 80s, but in that kind of perfect representation way.
I agree.
Not everything's perfectly explained, just kind of, there's not a lot of gore, but I thought the dead bodies were cool looking. And it's just a bunch of dead bodies popping out of graves, floating around, and people running from them, and a guy shooting lightning out of his eyes. I like all that.
A lot. I've read a couple places and heard people say some compare this to Poltergeist. Even say it was kind of ripped off from that, but I think this was actually out first before Poltergeist. But they've also compared it to Phantasm, but
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
the mausoleum's the only thing that.
But
that popped up, but again, it's just the mausoleum. I think for what they spent the first hour or so setting up, you didn't need more than 20 minutes to set up a girl trying to get in with other girls that don't like her and they're pulling a trick on her, and then Adam West and his wife's storyline about the guy dying. You could do all that in 20 minutes, or 20 minutes or a half hour, and then spend about an hour or 40 minutes making the mausoleum scene. Like, you could just spend the last 2/3 of the movie there, have that slowly build, things get worse and worse, and then peak at the end. I think that's a better movie.
Well, I think that if the effects are going to look the way they look, maybe not try to be so serious about everything. Like they could have put Adam West in a better role, I think. I don't know. There's things about it. I think the soundtrack was great. I thought the score overall was a really great score. But I only gave it a 2 out of 10.
That's pretty low.
I thought there was too much on the relationship between all the people that I mean, get to the thing that's going to happen. I don't care about this boyfriend whatsoever. I don't need to know why the fuck that girl doesn't like her. I don't give a shit. I want to get they don't like each other. You could even say there was a boyfriend. You don't have to include him in so many scenes and so many bullshit things that happen. But,
I agree with all that except the rating.
Yeah. I'm not good at rating things, so I think we've established that.
Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I gave it a 7.
Nothing to add to it, just a straight 7.
No, I mean, I've already said everything.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.
For low budget, good, decent acting.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.
It's done well, shot well.
Not a movie I say anyone needs to go watch, but definitely not one you need to avoid. It's just kind of a standard horror movie. I think, like I said, I think it'd be a lot better if you just spent 45 minutes in the mausoleum.
Good, safe movie to let your kids watch, I would say.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go on to the news.
And now the last roundup horror show news.
Here's some news for you. It's been over 20 years since 1995's Tales from the Hood was released, and director Rusty Cundiff let it slip on Twitter that a sequel is in development. Paramount Pictures announced they have bumped the entitled Cloverfield movie from February to April 20th, 2018. I'm a fan of the Cloverfield movies, so this is cool, something to look forward to. Couple things in the box office for January 5th. In select theaters and video on demand, Day of the Dead Bloodline. It's being billed as a reimagining of the Romero classic. These usually don't turn out good. I did watch the trailer. It don't look too bad. I imagine at some point I'll be checking this out. And then the other one is Insidious, The Last Key. And then a couple things on Blu-ray. For January 9th, been looking forward to this. Best Buy and Target have a few exclusive releases. I'm not sure what the difference is, so if you plan on picking it up, I would do your homework first. Also, January 9th, Friend Request. And for January 16th, Matinee finally gets a U.S. release. Starring John Goodman, directed by Joe Dante. We'll also have Happy Death Day and The Beast Must Die. That's it for the news.
Now we're on to Jared's pick. 2004's Frankenfish.
Nice.
I need you to run down to Otley.
What for?
Well, they pulled what was left of a body out of the swamp down there. It's chewed up real bad. Something ain't right.
We're here to investigate the death of your husband, John Crankton.
There's been a curse put on this place like none I've ever seen. I'm getting out of here, and once I'm gone, there won't be nothing to keep that evil thing away.
That is not a shark. So you're saying there's a swamp monster out here killing people?
Look at the size of the scale.
There's no thrill to compare with hunting something that can hunt you back.
If we don't bother it, it won't bother us.
Excuse me? I want to go home.
We're gonna have to kill it.
Let's go, boys.
We ain't getting out of here alive.
It can breathe out of the water? How can it do that? We are fish food. There's another one.
A series of brutal attacks in the Louisiana swamps leave the local police mystified, sending in a coroner originally from the area and a biologist to investigate. They learn that a group of genetically engineered Chinese snakeheads are responsible.
That sounds okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That
jump
sounds all right.
I'm gonna jump in first on this.
Yeah, go for it.
I picked this. Probably a better show I could have picked it for. I figured it wasn't going to be a popular choice, but genetic altered
Don't apologize.
animals released into human civilization is my comfort food.
Okay.
That's my sweet spot. And I thought it was time for me to finally do one. And this was one.
Now we know you like shit.
When it came out, I meant to watch it, and it was one that I had never got to watch. So I saw it and I said, it's time. And
So this was your first time watching this?
This was my first time watching this one.
Oh my God, Jared! I've seen this like 27,000 times, and it's all because I keep forgetting that I've seen it. I'm like, Frankenfish, I'll check that out. That looks like some shit I'll watch, and then I'll play it, and then until I see the fucking thing at the boats when it jumps out of the water and shit, I'm like, I've fucking seen this.
This is embedded in my skull. I know for sure I will never watch this movie again.
I don't watch it. I don't. I don't regret choosing it at all.
Was this a sci-fi movie? This couldn't have been a sci-fi movie, right?
This is below sci-fi.
Channel, because there was tits in it.
Yeah, I don't think it was a sci-fi, but it's in that vein, and I love those.
Yeah, this was directed by Mark.
I wonder how many times we're going to hear that during this.
This is directed by Mark Depay, known for directing the 1997 Spawn film. Several TV movies, including 2017's Michael Jackson's Halloween. What the fuck is Michael Jackson's Halloween animated special from 2017? Because that dude's been dead since
2017.
Yeah,
maybe they messed that up.
That's why it was animated.
So, man.
Did you look for it?
I saw pictures of it. It looked modern. Like,
is it animated? You could draw Michael Jackson, even though he's dead.
He thrilled millions with his music. Friday, October 27th. For the first time ever, his hits will bring Halloween to life.
Just follow the music.
Starring the voices of Christine Baranski, Alan Cumming, Brad Garrett, George Eat, Lucas Till, Lucy Liu, and Jim Parsons. Fun! Don't miss the world premiere event. Wow! Michael Jackson's Halloween, CBS Friday, October 27th.
This guy, the guys that wrote this have worked on Simon Barrett and Scott Clevenger have worked on VHS, The ABCs of Death. Actually, that's Simon. Scott has only done bad CGI films, including the Michael Jackson's Halloween special, but there's a bunch of Garfield shit in there and stuff too. But this movie is based on a real thing that kind of happened in Maryland. They even say it in the movie. About snakeheads getting
snakeheads getting loose.
Yeah, so
they weren't killing.
Has this been an episode of Monsterfish?
Might have. It's illegal to own one of these in the United States because they can go across the land. You know, so
they're not that big.
There's a lot of people.
Foot or two, I think.
There's a lot of actors in this movie that you recognize. The one guy Elmer, who's the guy that's fisting catfish. He is he's the killer from I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, I think he was the best. I think he was the best one.
Yeah. The hippie guy with the dreads, Roland, is one of the goons on the Super Mario Brothers movie.
He's been in other stuff.
A lot of stuff. And there's a ton of different people that you vaguely recognize, like every single person. It seems so much like a sci-fi movie. I laughed out loud whenever that Elmer guy gets killed and he gets dragged backwards through the water, and the guy pulls out a fucking gun, like he was gonna do something. Oh, hold on! Oh shit, he's just. That was good shit though.
Yeah, this movie for me had everything I wanted it to be. I think it's probably one of the stronger of these without getting big budget. But like I said, I don't like the big budget ones because they try to make them too serious. and that kind of defeats what I like about it.
I thought it was weird that the voodoo priestess lady did like a Christian prayer. That was kind of strange, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think I seen her daughter like do the like the Catholic.
Yeah, very confused. Religious context.
Yeah.
I was thinking, they're sitting there drinking these Coronas, and I'm thinking to myself, what is the fucking process of getting a 12-pack of clinking ass beers?
Anything.
Yeah.
They live out in the swamp.
Fridge.
How they get anything out there?
There's four shitty houseboats.
Well, I guess the one has a motor. Or you just drive. I don't know. I've never experienced that.
Why would you decide to live here? Like
just drive it into the nearest town with the dock.
You would not have clinking ass beer bottles. You would be getting the whatever. Never mind.
No, this movie's bad. Bad dialogue. Bad acting. It's boring. Like, it was really hard for me to pay attention to this movie. Like, I wanted to do so many different things, but I got through it. The CGI, god awful.
I mean, liked the beheading scene. Whenever Roland gets his head bit off.
Oh yeah.
The audio, Jesus, I don't know what you guys watch this on, but I watched it. I was watching it on my surround sound.
On.
So to hear the dialogue, I'd have to crank it, and as soon as something would happen, a fish jump out of the water. It rumbled my house. I mean, I had to hurry up and like the levels were even bad in this movie. Like this movie made Black Rainbow look good. It made Luther the Geek look like I would rather watch those two movies again than watch this movie again.
So big compliments from Jason.
I almost, like I said, I've watched this a lot of times and I never know that I've seen it until I see the fish. Because up until 45 minutes in, I'm like, yeah, the fish don't look that bad. And then when it finally fucking gets out, when they get a nice solid shot of it swimming under the water, I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst cartoon thing I've ever seen.
No, these movies are usually where I draw the line.
Yeah, I like one scene I like in particular that shows what I like about these movies when after what's his name dies that kills the first fish. And he kills the fish.
Ricardo or whatever?
Yeah, Ricardo. He kills the fish. He cuts out his heart. Throws it on the grill.
That.
And then Ricardo dies. The propane tips over. The fire's building.
And no one pays attention to that.
Yeah, there's also I think there's also a shotgun there too.
Yeah, the shotgun's sitting right beside it, and it heats up the shotgun. The shotgun goes off and shoots the girl in the eye. And the drunk guy's like, the house just shot her in the face.
Yeah, I wrote that down. The house just shot her. This is insane.
Yes.
like I said, it sounds like it should be a good movie, but it's not.
And it is
like all that stuff, all that happened. That's fine. Like that. It's not what I like or what I don't like about these movies or this one in particular.
I did like how they just there's a fucking fire right next to a propane grill and not a single motherfucker. Not a single one of these underwhelmed people, because there are people dying constantly and they're just drinking and they're fucking laughing about shit too. Like if you just saw all these people die, you would not laugh about fucking anything.
Yeah, let's just
these movies are just solid formulaic, and I just enjoy the formula. They're all the same. All the deaths line up in the same thing. It's all the ridiculous kind of stuff. It's all the quippy one-liners after the deaths. There's always the guy who's responsible for it.
You make it sound good, but it's not.
It is.
I really want to see the behind-the-scenes footage of them.
And this is one of the better ones too.
I wish that I could find. I looked it up too on YouTube. The behind-the-scenes footage of when the fish jumps into the fan boat and all those guts and stuff. I want to see the camera that is just a group of people throwing guts. I will probably watch this movie again because I've watched it numerous times. Yeah, and I'll fucking forget that I saw it.
You're getting this. Like if they're keeping track of watches and plays and ratings, this movie's got to be up there.
I'm just saying, I know I rented it back whenever fucking it came out.
If you're the type of person that would see a movie called Frankenfish and say, I bet that's good, you'll probably like this movie. Probably.
Yeah, I probably did like it when I first saw it. I gave it a 4 out of 10, so it is still in my wheelhouse.
No, this is your baby. Go ahead.
I'll end it. You guys are going to hit it hard. I'll end it on a positive note.
I gave it a 2.
Low from Jason.
I gave it a 7. I think that's about as strong as a grade as I'll give a movie like this.
The only movie worse than this movie is the next one we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and we'll get into that after we go to the Reading Rainbow of Death.
The Jared's Black Reading Rainbow of Death.
Beyond the Black Jared's Rainbow.
No mercy.
Take a look, it's in our book, a reading rainbow.
Okay, today on Reading Rainbow of Death, we're going to be talking about author Sean M. Thompson. He is host of Miskatonic Musings podcast.
Say that again for the people, Jared. Miskatonic
Musings.
Can we put that up on the
we'll
screen?
put it on the below here.
Right here.
Yeah.
He's co-host of that. He's author of the short story collection Too Late, the Bizarro novel from Eraserhead Press, Hate from the Sky, and he has just released, it was in October on Kindle, but just got the physical version. I'm waiting for it in the mail, of The Demon. He has some short stories and some other anthologies as well. He's one of the earlier ones I found too. This is a week or two after talking to Rab, I ended up finding his books. Too Late is very, it's short stories, very Twilight Zone-y, Tales from the Crypt style feeling stuff. Hate from the Sky isn't really horror, it's more bizarro. The sky is an entity, and he just kind of hates this dude who's the main character, and is just kind of a dick to him through the whole show, or through the whole book, until the dude dies. There is a scene where the guy is raped by a bathroom that is hilarious. And then his newest one, I have it on Kindle, I'm waiting to finish it until I get the book in, is called The Demon, and so far it's been fantastic. Demon possessing people through an internet virus, and it's been really good. And then he also has a short story in the anthology Terror in 16 Bits that has been one of my favorite things of his that I've read up until I started reading The Demon.
Is all his stuff on Muzzleland Press?
No, just the one in Terror in 16 Bits. Like I said, Hate from the Sky is from Eraserhead Press. And Too Late and The Demon are from his own press, McMahon Beast. And I believe you can find that on Facebook. You can find him on Facebook. His stuff's on Amazon, and I've talked to him. We will be talking to him in person from a distance on the next episode.
Yeah.
And that concludes that. I'm getting concise.
That's very nice.
That concludes Jared's Reading Rainbow of Death.
Right. Shit. Well, here we go. This is my fault that this movie was watched by any of us.
This one was something.
I watched the trailer. It looked like it was going to be something in the vein of a Redneck Zombies fashion. I thought it would be a psychological thing, but it was something else, man.
What are we talking about?
The Oregonian? Is that how you would say it? The Oregonian, 2011.
Oregonian.
I've said Oregonian.
I think it's Oregonian.
I like Oregonian.
Okay, now before we tear it to pieces, was there anything you liked about it?
Well, did you give the summation?
Oh, a woman leaves the farm and enters the unknown.
Yeah.
Man, this is a hard one.
Yeah, go for it, Jared.
This is a hard one. Yeah, there are bright spots, I guess. I wish by the time I got to the end, I knew how everybody was gonna feel about it. And I wish I would have actually spent time watching the time, because there's probably 10 or 15 minutes of funny stuff in this. The omelet man.
Yes.
when like he gets
Too much breakfast, probably.
yeah.
he pisses 4 different.
When he gets out
normal
of the car,
piss.
he pees clear, then yellow, then red, then blue, then green, then it turns black.
Well, I didn't see all that.
Yeah, then it turns black. Then he falls down face first, like he's dead. She goes to go in the driver's seat and drive away, stealing his van, and then he's just back at the window.
Yeah,
and then she's like, "Oh, okay," and they get back. Like that scene made me laugh. There are the.
I think we need to give him more than what that summation.
What happened? I don't
mean,
even know.
Okay, there's this girl is driving. She gets in an accident.
Yeah.
There's a body laying. She's trying to get help. She can't find anyone.
And weird stuff happens.
That's where this guy comes in. Piss in all different colors.
For context, it's shot in like that kind of is it avant-garde?
I would honestly compare this to Beyond the Black Rainbow. The way they were trying to shoot
that style of movie. It's surreal.
Yeah.
It's there's not a lot of explanation.
This makes that movie look good.
Yeah, it's not as much
It's more about the visuals and the head trip, except you have to imagine that movie shot with 0 budget, and honestly, the movie ends up.
It's very low budget, and I am 100% positive that I can make a better movie than this.
Oh yeah, anybody can do this.
And the noises that goes on in this movie.
The majority of the movie is just her walking down the road.
Yeah, I had the volume almost all the way down when I was watching this. When I saw mouths move, I turned it up.
Because the soundtrack was fucking horrible.
It's awful.
I wrote down, I feel that the person responsible for scoring this movie spent way too much time trying to craft noiseescapes that wear out their welcome very quickly. I understand it's important to create a disturbed atmosphere for your horror film, but don't just dump some flange on a distorted teapot whistle and call it an appropriate soundtrack.
That makes it sounds better than what it was.
The whole movie is contrived unsettlingness.
Yeah.
Like it is
it's awful.
You can tell it's all supposed to be unsettling, but it's so bad none of it's unsettling.
I like the way the film looks. That's about all I can say for it. They could have used that
the scratchy look.
Yeah, just the shitty fucking shit look. I like that. But the first line that's said by anybody in the movie is when that guy pisses and then says, "I'm okay, too much breakfast maybe," and that's kind of like the only fucking line in the movie. My favorite. There is a segment though. There is a segment where the husband and the wife are smoking cigarettes and he's pushing her around in a wheelbarrow, and I want to take that and I want to cut it out and I want to make it a Newports or like some sort of commercial, like with some sort of music. I don't even have to. The music it looked like a Newport commercial or some shit.
The lady in red that pops up all through it is just an old lady who looks at her and smiles and laughs all weird.
Yeah, that was like the most effective thing.
Again, it's just it's all this kind of stuff. She walks for
and this
5
movie.
minutes.
I'm pretty sure this movie went to all like the indie film shows and shit. Are you kidding me?
Everything in this movie, she walks for like 5 or 10 minutes and then runs into something that makes no sense, and it's meant to be in an artsy kind of surreal way.
Yeah,
and
the end scene is
all ends up.
Describe it with words, Jason.
Are you talking about the omelet being shoved down in?
There's a guy that's
in the
real
body.
Fucking weird, fucking her. Is it her?
Yeah, it's her as she watches.
With a cut in her spine, and then the omelet guy comes in and shoves an omelet in the cut.
And is that really supposed to be gasoline, or is that why they're keeping their water in?
There are people dumping gasoline-colored liquid out of gas cans into their. And everyone listening, you
got any water?
I know it probably sounds.
Are you kidding me?
I know it probably sounds like we're forgetting to mention big things that might.
No.
This is what listening to this is what watching the movie is like. There's just
this is way better.
A bunch of stuff that's just nothing, and then something really random happens, and it doesn't make any sense.
Overall, I think the movie is completely just as pointless as Beyond the Black Rainbow, but way worse done.
Yeah, that had good audio.
So I only gave it
and looked good.
I only gave it a 2.
I gave it a 1. I don't think you rate them 0. So
A 1.
It was.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 1. I debated on a 2 just because I'm sure whoever directed this probably produced it and wrote it. And good on you, dude.
I gave it
for having a dream and fulfilling it.
I'll tell
but
you why I gave it.
I will rate zeros, and you know what? I'll give him a 1 because he did something.
I'll tell you what, I did that wheelbarrow segment where they're both smoking cigarettes like crazy,
And they're happy.
they're happy. That looked like a Winston Lights commercial
Or
until he started calling
Salem?
Yeah,
Salem Slim?
Yeah, he started calling her a cunt. Though.
he lets her have it.
He said cunt like seven times.
I think the idea behind this is she was in an abusive relationship and cheating on him.
Yeah, tell me what you think Tell me what you
I think the idea behind it, she's in this abusive relationship and cheating on the guy. The guy finds out. He gets really mean.
Drinks like a half a pint of gin
and
just gets
starts
wasted.
starts screaming at her. I'm guessing she's probably drunk and takes off in a car. And then that's kind of where the movie is starting. And she's hit a little boy and his dad who are on a picnic, and the rest of this stuff, like, shit, that's the only kind of sense you can make of it. I'm sure somehow, somewhere, the dude that made this,
where's the frog come in?
I'm sure. Well, when she takes off the mask,
it's the other guy.
The guy
her. When
banging her.
When they take off the mask at the end, it's the guy banging her, but then turns into her.
Oh, God.
Remember, because she wanders back.
No.
She wanders back to the dead kid and the guy and starts making them dance with their dead bodies.
I think we could get a unanimous don't watch this movie.
Do not. But
before these last couple of movies, I thought Shudder was... The movies I've already seen on there are pretty good movies to me. So I figured the movies I haven't seen or heard of before, those are probably pretty good movies too, but these last two...
Yeah, we're going to run into some shit, man.
Yeah. I'm guessing the storyline, if you summed it up...
You guys got to get out of Shudder.
Is
what it comes down to.
Is a girl's in an abusive relationship, cheats on the guy, runs, gets in an accident, and then in a drunken or unconscious stupor faces her demons, and all this stuff is supposed to represent something about her. I'm sure in the director's head, he's like, oh, the green frog suit is perfect. Because when she pulls it off at the end and it's this guy that was raping her, but then you find out it's her, it's perfect because it perfectly sums up how it's her. Like, I'm sure he has an answer for that, but whatever it is could not be gathered from this movie.
Well, just don't watch it, guys. Thanks for checking this episode
This
out.
was a terrible one to end on.
Thanks for watching this.
Why didn't we start with this?
Yeah, this guy's gonna end up hearing about this? Us ripping his movie, and he's gonna rip our show.
That's fine. Rip it up.
Let's go.
Ending
our show's way better than your movie.
Terrible ending because
Bring
it's
it on,
let's take a vote.
Maybe he'll review Daughters of Our Lord.
Oh yeah, I've made a bad short film. Check it out, Daughters of Our Lord. It's bad, but I can admit it. I can admit all of it. Yeah. So we'll see you next time, guys.
Bye.